Good morning, Danny. Here's your machine, the Breville Oracle in black truffle. This is a refurbished unit, so it's been used for a few months, but it's in fully working condition, and it comes with warranty, all the accessories, the original packaging, as you saw in the photos. In this video, I'll be demonstrating all the features, making sure everything works fine for you, and kind of do a bit of teaching on how to use this machine. So when you first turn it on, it usually takes about 5 minutes from cold when you press the button, from pressing the button up to when you can make coffee, so about 5 minutes. It has a built-in clock function so that you can wake up in the morning. If you say you make a coffee at 8 o'clock, you can tell it to wake up at 7:30, 7:45, and it'll be nice and hot by the time you wake up. So that's very nice. I recommend you warm up the machine before you use it. So now it says 93, or it would say the temperature as it heats up, and when it gets to 93, it'll say ready. And now it says ready, but it doesn't mean that you should make coffee right away, just because your portafilter could be cold, your cup could be cold, and those two need to be warmed up for you to get a good coffee, in my opinion. So I would get my handle. Actually, I would keep it locked in so that it heats up with the machine. As the machine heats up, the portafilter will heat up as well, because this has a heated group head. So I'll keep it on, and then I'll grab my cup and press the brew button. This will give me hot water, and warm up the internals, warm up the cup pretty quickly actually. So this is a single selection. I'm actually going to do a double shot, so I'll change that to a double. So last time I used this machine, or I tried making a coffee on it, I think it had grind size 12, so I'm going to use that. Should be a good ballpark. And I'm using the Aldi medium beans. Which are pretty good in my opinion. Not the best, but a good bean for a beginner or an average coffee drinker. Right, that cup is nice and warm. We can move it to the side. So this is a dual boiler. Of course, you can have steam and hot water at the same time. And then you have a hot water tap. With grinding, so because I'm using a different bean from last time and it's been a while, I recommend you do a flush of the grinder. So to flush the grinder, it's very simple. You just grind for 3 seconds and discard. Of course, that's to make sure you get the freshest coffee possible, because there's a bit of old coffee inside as well, inside the chute and the passageway. So I'll turn it on. When it starts grinding, I'll wait 3 seconds. Yep. This is pretty much a mix of old and new coffee, so I'll get rid of that. And then now, when I grind, it'll be fresh coffee. Maybe too fine, so I'm going to go up to 15. So anytime you change your beans or you change your grind size, I recommend you flush. Let's have a look. That may be too fine for us, but there's only one way to know, and that's to make a coffee. So I'll put it up to 18 because I think 15 is too fine even. A bit of wastage happening, but that's necessary to get a good cup of coffee. Get rid of that, and now we're ready to make a coffee. Grind size 18. Just move these out of the way. Yeah, basically it's a grind. You just turn it to the right, wait for it to finish. It'll do the dosing, it'll do the distribution and polishing and everything. There we go, nice polished surface. Sometimes there's a bit of loose coffee. I'll just flip that upside down to get rid of those. And yeah, that looks really good. I'll lock it in the middle. So I forgot to say, in this video I'm using my own portafilter and my own milk jug. So to keep your machine nice and clean after we put it back in the box, I'm not going to use the original portafilter. The original portafilter has 2 spouts. This is my personal one. It has no bottom. It's a bottomless portafilter. It's absolutely not necessary to get a good coffee, especially on an automatic machine. You can use the normal one fine. Okay, cup is very hot. I forgot to mention, it's a good idea to measure the input and output. I forgot to measure the input, so you would put on the handle, empty, grind, put it back and see how much. I think it's about 22 grams. I've made so many Oracle videos. It's usually 20 to 23, so I'd say 22 just to be safe. So 22 grams in the handle. In terms of what should come out into the cup, it should be double of what we put in. And that should happen in 30 seconds. So I'll make a coffee now and see how quick that comes out. So the grind size will affect how quick or slow the coffee brews. If the grind size is very fine, let's say we try number 5, which we shouldn't, but let's say we try number 5 and we make a coffee on it, it will probably be very fine for the machine. It'll result in very little coffee, if any coffee at all. So very little will come out and the machine will struggle to push because it's very fine. If you go very large, let's say we go all the way to 40, that's too big for the particles to be espresso, or too big for the particles for espresso. I can't speak today. And what we'll notice if the particles are too big or the grind size is too large, the water will flow really quickly. It'll be a very fast shot. And by the 30 seconds, by the end of the 30-second brew, when we press the brew button, we'll get a lot of coffee. So think of the grind size as how much amount. So it correlates directly to amount. So a larger number will give you more coffee because it'll go for 30 seconds. Always, it won't go by volume, it'll actually go by time. So 30 seconds, in that 30 seconds, because it flows very quick, it'll give you a lot of coffee. And if you go very fine, it'll give you a small amount of coffee. So we'll try 18, we'll see how we go. Like I said, it should be double of what we put in, so it should be about 45 grams. So I'll measure that as well, just to give you an idea of what 45 grams looks like, and also to make sure we have the correct settings, at least roughly for espresso. That's a lot of talking. You can also add sugars or flavorings now before the espresso shot. I'm adding a bit of hazelnut. Great. So calibrating my scale to 0 and then pressing. We're making a cappuccino, so the froth we can do that later. So it's a dual boiler, like I said, you can do both at the same time, and ideally you would do both of them at the same time, but because we're doing a video and I'm commentating, I think it's better to do them separately. We'll press the double, which is going to go for 30 seconds. In the meantime, I'm going to fill my milk jug about halfway with cold full cream milk. Yep. As I suspected, it's a bit too fine. So as you see, it's 12 seconds into the shot and nothing came out. That tells me that the grind size is too fine. So we'll try that again. So that's 18. Let's try 22. I'll try 22. I'm just going to pause the video. I think someone is on my front doorstep. Okay, I'm back. Yep, so that grind size 18 was too fine for us. Now I'm probably going to go to 22 or 25 to speed it up. Let's try 22. So it's going to be a bit of force to knock it out. into the knockbox. Your machine does come with a knockbox, so that's good. Great. Just drying the portafilter. We're doing this again. Now I'm not going to forget to measure the input. I just like to do it for curiosity, really. That's 0. And then remember what we said about grind size and flushing. So we'll flush. Let's add some beans. We're on 18, we're gonna go all the way to 22. And I'm gonna let it run for 3 seconds to flush. Make sure we only get the correct grind size in the handle and not some of the old one. So I'll keep it running and then I'll change. 22. You don't want to change the grind size when it's not grinding. Reason is, especially if you're going down on grind size, it will force those two bursts together when there's beans in between them, and when it's not grinding, that's just a lot of stress on the mechanism. It's not necessary. Cool. So now that we have flushed 22, let's go. Again, nice and polished. A bit of coffee grounds on it usually, but you can clean those later with a vacuum. Yep. 22.5. That's fine. Close enough. Walking in the middle. Grab my cup. 0 and brew. Again, we're doing a double shot, so we'll go double. You can save your own settings, of course, in the menu. You can select your own milk temperature and hot water amount if you're doing Americano or things like that. That's better. So it's started flowing at 10 seconds, which is good. Oh, it's a beautiful flow. Let me show you. Awesome. So I'll let it run for 30 seconds and we'll measure how long, how much coffee it gives us. Like I said, if it's within the 40s, I'll be happy. If it's very underdosed, yeah, that's 32 grams. I'm not going to make another coffee, but what I will say is from here, I will go to grind size 23 or 24. Let's try 24. 23, 24, that's fine. I wouldn't go down in size when it's not grinding, but going up is okay. So 22 gave us about 32 grams. We wanted 45, so that's still not as much as we wanted. So we've increased it by 2 numbers. I'll let you go home, try it at 24 or 25, and see how much coffee comes out. If you have a scale, send me the measurements, and I'll let you know if that's within the ballpark. But yeah, I think 32. It's going to be a strong coffee. That's a 1 to 1.5 ratio. What we can do is just drink the coffee as is. It'll probably be nice. Some people like strong shots. Some people also like to extract more caffeine out of their coffee to just run it. Run it a bit longer. It's not the best practice to do because it's probably won't be great for the taste. But if you really, so now it's 44, great. This is what 44 grams looks like. Yeah, it's probably not the best in terms of the coffee taste, because when you extract coffee, stop it, then extract it again, it disrupts the the puck and it causes channeling. A lot of fancy stuff. But basically, if you want more caffeine, you have to extract more coffee. Is the basic gist of it. Yeah, that's a strong coffee for sure. But it's still drinkable, especially if you add milk. Probably won't notice all these nuances in the flavors that people usually rant on about. You may, if you focus hard enough. Just have to knock it really hard, but I'm wary. I don't want to make a mess around the machine. There we go. Cool. After that's done, I'll just take this sticky tape out. I like to do a flush, so press the button again. This will give you hot water again, of course, but we're not warming up the machine, we're just washing. That's nice and clean. If you want to be extra nice to your machine, grab a rag or a brush. Your machine comes with a brush as well. And just wipe. There's often a bit of coffee grounds left in there. Over time, these will build up and may cause a mess. So it's good to clean them as they come and make your life easier, make your machine happy, and look good as well. And that's the espresso. So I'm just going to give it a quick wipe. You don't want to stain your machine. Next is steaming the milk. We've demonstrated the hot water tap. You can do long black Americano coffees with the long black function. So you keep your cup in here. You press the hot water. Sorry, you press the hot water button. We can just go in the long black section. It will actually give you the shot and then the hot water, or vice versa. And that's actually pretty handy. You don't have to move the cup to the hot water tap, which other machines you have to do that. Cool. I'm just going to fill my milk jug halfway. Like I said, cold milk is usually best. I'm using full cream. It's giving me the most flavor. Other milks can work nicely as well. Oat and almond, I've tried them. They're pretty good for lattes. I will select the cappuccino function, so that's going to give me a good amount of froth. You can select the temperature and save your settings. Like I said, I'm going to keep it on the maximum froth just to see what it's capable of, and then temperature I'll keep it on 60 degrees. Oh, I forgot. Before you steam, just give it a purge, just to clean the insides from any clean the insides of any condensation from the previous session. And then milk. Just like with grinding, frothing is also automated. One button press and then it's like set and forget. I'm going to grab a wet towel. So that once we take it out, we give it a wipe right away. That's a nice thick foam. So give it a wipe all around. Don't forget the base, which is the flat part here, people usually forget. And then when you push it down, it'll clean itself. That's a good foam. Let's have a look. Yeah, so if I've used more milk, I can probably do some sort of latte art with this machine. You can also use the manual function, so I'll show you how to do that. pretty easy. If you want to froth your milk manually and you have a bit more control over the texture and the flow inside the milk jug. Push it up. So I'm just wiping it. Sorry. Grab a tissue. So you push it up, and then it'll say manual, and then just steam like that. And then you can grab the jug, control your milk flow, and steam like a barista would. And then with that technique, you can probably do very silky milk for latte art, or if you want more froth than what the automatic setting can give you, or if you want flatter milk than what the automatic setting gives you, you can dial it in like that. And there's techniques and videos on how to properly froth milk manually. I can do a better job than what I can explain today, but basically if you keep the tip close to the surface, give it more froth. If you dunk the tip deep into the milk, you give it less froth. Yeah, so you just press and it'll work manually pretty much indefinitely. Because it's a dual boil, it'll always heat up the steam. You can have a very long steaming session if you're doing multiple drinks back to back, etc. That's the beauty of this machine. It's nice and easy to use. It's quick. You can do multiple coffees back to back, and it'll handle it like a champ because of that twin heating system and this dedicated steam boiler. And yeah, the automatic setting on the grinder makes it really easy and foolproof to get good coffee, I think. So I hope you enjoy this machine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Today, if not tomorrow. And yeah, any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate. Thanks again.